Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Power Lunch on LinkedIn Live. I'm Rhett Power, your host. I do this program every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at around 12 noon. Today is a special case because I have a special guest, and we'll talk about him in just a second. We do this on the point of the show is to have today's thought leaders, CEOs, top corporate leaders, best-selling authors, people who are doing really interesting things and special things in the world. We bring them on the program because we want to learn from them. We want to see what they do to be successful that maybe we can take from them. So the fun part is this show can be interactive. So if you have a question, please ask it. I know Steve and I will certainly try to answer it. We'll be trying to monitor social media while we're doing the program. If I don't get to the question during the show, we'll certainly get to it afterwards. I know we are simulcasting on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn all at the same time with the help of Social Live and their work to help us make that possible. Now, if you like the program, give it a like or share, help us spread the word. Like I say every day, it's time to learn from the best. Today is no exception. I have Steve Randazzo. He's an author. He's a columnist, a business columnist. He's a founder and president of Promotion, an experiential marketing agency, which I want to dig into a little bit. He's worked with companies like Walt Disney, Hewlett-Packard, Citco, the NBA, and a bunch of other. Dr. Pepper, I think, was even one. But we're here to talk about his new book as well, and that book is called Brand Experiences: Building Connections in a Digitally Cluttered World. Steve, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Rhett. I appreciate it. What a great intro. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. So what is the difference between, or what is an experiential marketing firm, I guess? I was really curious what that was.
Well, when we started the company 24 years ago, we were an event marketing company.
Okay.
And our industry has morphed into really talking about experiences. So building experiences in either just human-to-human experiences, whether it's in a B2B or a B2C application. But experiential marketing is all about building experiences that break through the clutter and build that emotional connection that you can do in that human-to-human interaction,
right,
and engagement. Yeah.
What's the difference between sort of experiential marketing and digital marketing? Is there? I mean, there's a big difference. I'm guessing.
I guess the simplest way to share the differences is that digital is everything that you see on a flat screen. So you can see digital on your phone, on your laptop, your tablet, whatever it happens to be. And everything we do is bringing those messages, whether it's an advertising message or a promotion or whatever it happens to be, we bring those to life. So everything we do is in the real world. And again, that human-to-human interaction is really important in what we do. We believe is, digital's great, different forms of advertising is great, obviously PR is great. All those should be part of an integrated program along with the experiential marketing program. And what experiential gets to do is take all those other initiatives and make them come alive.
Okay.
And make them a real experience where humans connect with each other and have that ability to have an emotional connection. We believe the best way to get an emotional connection is to have an experience. So you could go, let me give you just a quick example. You can go to a concert and get everything in the atmosphere of a concert and excitement and the energy and the applause and, all that feedback you get from the artist, from the crowd and all that. That is what we believe it would be a great experience. Now, someone there may be videotaping, maybe shooting a video of that on their phone and then posting that on social media. And that's sharing that experience, but you can't get that emotional connection as deep as you can as if you actually experience that concert.
Is there a strategy? So, I mean, that's a great example, concert, events. If I'm a company and I'm having events and I think people, I've been guilty of it. You think that's a great time to sort of promote and do social media around an event. Is there Is that the right strategy, or should I be thinking about it differently as more of a strategy and as opposed to sort of this one-off thing that I want to tweet about or I want to make a Facebook post about? Or does that?
Sure. Well, we believe integration is really the key there, because the great thing about social is it can take one of our programs and give it reach like we can't give. So we can create that experience for everyone who's in that environment and who
Okay.
comes through that environment on a given day or a given week or whatever it happens to be. But then we love to shoot it out with social media, because that gives us the reach, like I said, we can't get. So we may engage 100 or 10,000 people in a day, but we can shoot it out to millions all across the world and provide that awareness of that event and awareness of that brand and awareness of that experience much more effectively than we can in a one-on-one environment. The beauty of the one-on-one environment is, you're having a quality conversation, you're having a quality engagement. It's something you can track. You can see the buyer's journey if you're building a brand.
Mm-hmm.
You can see them going from awareness. Oh, I knew that you had this ice cream flavor. Oh, I got to taste it. Oh my God, that's really great. You have that aha moment. It's like, well, I knew you had pineapple sherbet, but I've never tasted it before. Oh my God, that's really good. You create that aha moment. You create that connection. You give them a coupon or something like that, and then they go to the store and they actually buy it. So digital's great for us because we can expand everything that we do. But there's nothing like that one-on-one interaction that you get to do with, that human to human is really important.
How do you, if you're doing an event like that, or if you're doing a program, how do you get through social and digital? How do you tell that story? How do you make that connection? I mean, you said something right just now that was kind of made me think about that. If you're tasting that ice cream, you can't give you can't really give that to the person watching it on the screen. How do you tell that story then? How do you make emotion?
I think you tell that story from the emotion that you see. We did a program with Fiskars, and they started out being the scissor people, and then they went into lawn and garden. And we went out to Home Depot and Lowe's and Walmart and places like that, and we had their lawn and garden tools. And I got to tell you, these are the best tools. I have them at home. When you cut with them, you have this aha moment. So what we did is we videotaped consumers trying the regular shears and cutting branches and wooden dowels and things like that. And then they used the Fiskars shears and they cut them. And to see the people's, just their body language, their emotions,
that visceral
capture that. Yeah, you capture that and you shoot that out. And people get it. And we did. Every day we would capture that. We'd edit it down. We'd shoot it to Fiskars, and they'd put it up on their social media. And they got tens of thousands of people viewing that. But it was amazing to see them go, they're trying to, cut this branch. And then they use it with Fiskars and they go, oh my God. They go, more than anything. Yeah, people go, it cuts like butter, and it's like, you love that. And it's like, that's that aha moment. It's like, they didn't know about the brand had it. They get the awareness. They get to experience it. They have this aha moment and they go buy it. And it's like I said, that whole buyer's journey is controlled in that example and in that environment. And to be able to share that.
But it's got to be real joy, right? It's got to be real, that real emotion. Like it can't be contrived.
It is real. And then the other great thing about it is not only do they go, buy the product then that day, but then they go home and they tell their friends and family. And word of mouth is better than any branding that the brand can do. There's a lot of theories out there that brand advertising and brand messaging isn't trustworthy. But you know what? If I had this experience and I come over and I show you and I tell you about it, it's very trustworthy. So word of mouth is so much more trustworthy than a lot of things that brands are doing today. So what we do is a great way to extend that word of mouth, and that's part of that ROI equation also.
I totally agree. We had when I was running my first company, we had a product that was on Al Roker did a Christmas. He does a toy layout every Christmas.
Sure.
And Al Roker had our toy out there for the Christmas review or whatever it was, and his picks, and we had had a nice little bump that week. And at the end of the week, we had a blog out of Chicago at the time. I think she's got her own TV program now, but it was the I can't remember the name of the Pioneer Mom, Pioneer Mom, I think is what it was. And she put it on the blog that week, and we did 5 times more than just with her word of mouth on her product list as we did with Al Roker. And I mean, her level of trust just must have just
exactly
through the roof.
And I think most people know that Al's doing his job.
Right.
He didn't have a choice in showing your toy.
Right.
However, this blogger did. She had a complete. She could either do something about it or do nothing about it. She chose to do something about it, and that credibility then, was exactly what the consumer needed.
Right.
That's awesome. Great story.
Yeah. No. I get what you're saying. I mean that's important. What kind of because all we hear is content. What does that mean, and what should we be looking for? And I ask all my guests on that do this kind of stuff what's important and what they think, and I guess I'm trying to get to an answer. If I'm a small medium enterprise, what do I need to really focus on, and how do I do it, and what kind of content do I focus on? It's a hard question to answer, but
it really is. But I think there's so much out there. There's so much clutter out there,
and that's what you were getting at in the book. Is
and that's we started with another title, we went another direction, and then in the middle of the book we're like, we keep on hearing about clutter, and there's so much out there. How do you stand out in this cluttered world? And you need to have engagement, and you need to hit an emotional chord. There's a lot of science behind this that most people don't understand, but you have to get into that science, and you have to know that when people have that emotional connection, it stays within them. Their brain categorizes it. Mm-hmm. And it's something that happens just naturally with all of us. The hardest thing to do is to break through and get that connection. The example that I give sometimes is, if you went stood over a bridge on a highway, an overpass, you're just watching cars and trucks and every motorcycles fly by you. You're not really paying attention to any of it. You're just watching it go by. Like, I don't remember anything I liked on Twitter yesterday or LinkedIn or any of that. But, if there's somebody that, really stands out and I'm connected to that, I'm interested in that, and we have this emotional connection, that's the stuff that my brain just categorizes, and it does it naturally. So I don't even have to try. You could probably remember your maybe your 30th birthday or your 21st birthday or something like that. Something happened in your life that was a big deal.
We remember the milestone, right?
And you can remember it, decades afterwards. But it's hard to remember those things that don't connect with you and they don't have that emotional connection. So content is just like any other branding out there. You have to figure out what's important to your audience, and you have to figure out how to connect. And that's what's really important. And from a written content or a digital content, we work every day on trying to expand our brand and build our brand, building that content. But I know, based on 24 years of experience, when we get out and we engage human to human, we have that engagement. We have that, we can build an experience, and people are going to remember the clients that we're working with, or us as a brand coming in to talk to our current clients or a prospect. So I think engagement is really important, and finding that emotional connection it has to happen. If it doesn't happen, you're just part of the clutter.
Right. So your story, developing your story and your, okay, got it.
Yeah, the story is really key. That we're spending more and more time talking about story. If you go to our website right now, it says up there, every brand has a story to tell, and we tell them through experiential marketing. But that story is really important. How do you stand out? And make sure your story resonates with your audience, and it's make sure that's the story that they want to hear, and make sure that story is authentic to them. If you can do that, then you've got a good chance of connecting. But you have to be authentic to your audience.
Right. What how do you build sort of a cadre of brand ambassadors? I saw an article you wrote, and I thought was really kind of fascinating, because that seems like a really good strategy, particularly if you have a local business or small, medium-sized business, or even a national brand. I mean, it seems like a strategy that might work sort of across, whatever kind of business you have.
Yeah, those are the people who extend your reach, and it doesn't cost you any money. So the stronger your brand is, the less marketing you have to do, because other people will do your marketing for you. So to have ambassadors out there, or fanatics out there, are really important, because those are the people who are exclusive to your brand. Having loyal customers is great, but I think having an ambassador or having a fanatic is beyond loyalty. So you see now where people put patches on the back of or stickers on the back of their laptops. I would think those people are fanatics. They want people to know that, they love this brand. You see it on backpacks. You see them on cars. I mean, stickers are coming back, like not bumper stickers, but just stickers to put on your windows that show that, you're for this or you're for that. I think that's beyond loyalty. I think that's when you become a fanatic. And again, those people spread your word, and you don't have to spend any money in your marketing to do that. You just have to keep them interested. And you have to continue to talk to them.
How do you do that? Is there I mean, how do you get into those conversations with that? I mean, I know it's engagement. You've got to engage them and sort of facilitate that. Is there a strategy for that, or some tips that you might have for?
Yeah, I just wrote an article in the last couple of weeks about that, where, one of the things you have to do is it has to be part of your company's mission, and the mission has to resonate with your audience, the people who are buying your products. But then you have to have consistency throughout. So your customer service has to be in line with that. Zappos is a great example of a company that has tons of ambassadors and fanatics, because they do things really well. In addition to sell stuff on their website, they do something at Christmas where they do adopt a pet. So that really resonated with the people who buy their products. And so they do that every year. And what they have found is those, dogs and finding dogs a home before they're euthanized is really important to their audience. Mm-hmm. So they found something that resonated with them, and they continue to be consistent through the process. They're very service oriented. You can buy 10 pairs of shoes on Zappos and send all 10 back, and they pay for the shipping. They're just very focused on their consumer, and that's a great equation for their consumer, because they feel like the company cares about them, and they're not trying to just take money from them, not trying to drive revenue. Right. They drive that engagement. So customer service is really important. Finding something that resonates with your audience is really important. You have to walk the walk. It has to be real. You, as an organization, you can't fake it. Community service is something that can build a lot of brand ambassadors and a lot of fanatics. But it has to be authentic to your brand. You can't just give money or do a service unless it really makes sense to your brand. And that's actually one of the chapters in my book talks about community service and how some brands have done a really great job of getting out there and being a resource and caring. And so I think that's how you really build those ambassadors and those fanatics, by being authentic.
Is there something specific you do for them? I mean, do you give them things? Do you give them content? When you get somebody that is a big advocate for your brand, is there something specific that you can do for them?
Yeah, you can do things like have special events for them. You can have special content for them. You can send them, special offers. Once you identify who those people are, you want to continue to talk to them. And it's got to be that two-way conversation. So you have to pay attention to what they're talking about, and you need to make sure that you integrate your messaging so that it resonates with them. So once you get that, the words a lot of people use, once you get that tribe in place, it's important to really keep those people and then grow that in an effort, again, so they will continue to spread your word and grow your brand.
So what do you think are some of the key takeaways from the book? I mean, that if you had to do the 30, you can do more than 30 seconds, but if you had to sort of say, here are the key takeaways, I mean, from your perspective, what are those takeaways?
Well, I think what I'm hearing more from people who've read the book is, first of all, it's a pretty easy read. It's about 155 pages. It's pretty much written as I speak. It's not a textbook. It's funny. I didn't let my wife read it until it was done, and then I gave it to her, and she read the introduction in the first chapter. She goes, "Oh my God, this sounds just like you." And I'm like, well, good. That's a good thing, right? It does sound just like me. But so it's easy to read, and it's very conversational, and it talks about real companies. There's a lot of real examples in there, and you don't have to be Disney to be in experiential marketing. It talks about how any brand at any size can and should get out and engage their audience. With so much clutter in the marketplace, there needs to be more creativity to have that engagement. And that's what, it's 9 chapters. Like I said, it's about 155 pages. It's easy read. But it's a lot of great stories about how not only my company, but how other companies have engaged their audience in a lot of creative ways. So hopefully it gives people some ideas. It gives them, I wrote the book for 3 reasons. I wanted to educate people on our industry and what it can do. I wanted to inspire people to either learn more about it or to jump in and figure out how it could work for them. And I wanted to give back. And so, some of our proceeds go to Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Eastern Missouri. And so we give back on every book that's sold. So it's a great organization I've been involved with for probably 15 years now. And so that was kind of the 3 reasons to write the book. And like I said, I'm pretty happy. We've got some really good feedback and some good reviews in the book. And people said a lot of nice things. And, it's kind of humbling and it's a lot of fun to hear.
Well, I thought it was great. I put it on my Forbes must-read list that's coming out here in the next couple of weeks. So,
awesome! Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's great.
Yeah. No, it struck a chord with me.
Good.
And I think it's actually something that if you're in marketing, you should read. I mean, no doubt about it.
Well, not only marketing, but I'm hearing from salespeople too, who have picked up the book and said, oh my gosh, I had no idea, but so much of what I talk about in the book is about results. And so every salesperson out there is looking to, drive more results. So especially in that B2B world, our industry is kind of new in B2B. We've been doing B2C forever. I mean, you go back since the beginning of time, but the B2B, the manufacturers out there are software companies or, people who have a new product that they need to get in front of as many people as possible, a product that really needs to be experienced, to be understood. Maybe they've got a product that's too big for each one of their salespeople to carry around and carry into a sales call. Our industry does a great job of moving and logistics and getting equipment from place to place. But, again, going back to that buyer's journey in the B2B world, we can watch that buyer's journey go from the very beginning to close sometimes in 45 minutes, which doesn't happen too often in a B2C world unless, you're right there at the point of sale. Maybe you're at a grocery store and you can pick up, like you see at Sam's or Costco, you taste the product, you pick it up and you buy it, and it's instant gratification. In the B2B world, obviously that sales cycle is a little bit longer, but you get the right people in the room or in the vehicle with the right salespeople, the right clients and salespeople together, and you just watch their conversation go so quickly. And, because it's a two-way conversation. They're asking about this, they're experiencing that. And we've had our customers tell us that in a B2B environment, we've cut the sales cycle in half and we've doubled their pipeline. So what salesperson doesn't want to have that happen? So it's not only a book for marketers, it's a great book for salespeople too.
Can you, because I want people to leave with a real understanding of experiential marketing. Are there some examples you could share with us of things that you're doing, the kind of work that you're doing for your clients that I think will sort of illustrate that really clearly?
Yeah, sure. I'll try and make these stories really quick. I can give you like 3 examples. So you mentioned the NBA. So with the NBA, what we did is we took out their championship trophy, and we were in all over California. We took that out to Walmart stores so people could see it and experience that trophy. And then we took pictures of them with the trophy. So, I'm in St. Louis, so the NHL trophy is going around because we just won the Stanley Cup. So It's a really big deal in St. Louis. I'm seeing all over.
Yeah, from Washington, man. Come on.
Oh no, we took it from Boston. Washington was last year.
Was it last year? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you guys won last year. We took it from Boston. We didn't take it from them. We won it over them this year.
I know.
But
you won it from I'm saying that it left Washington. So
yeah, it left Washington, came to St. Louis. That's right. So I'm seeing everybody experiencing the Stanley Cup championship trophy in St. Louis. So we did the same thing in California with the NBA. So, we take it into Walmart, they get to see it, they touch it, get your picture taken with it, they share it on social media. So they got to experience that trophy. With Disney, we did a program called Give a Day, Get a Day. And it just really resonated with people in the United States. It was a US program, but if you would go into a nonprofit and give 8 hours of your time, Disney would give you a free ticket to go to Disney. So we went in, I think it was 38 different markets. We did experiences in 4 or 5 places every day and built up awareness for this program. And it just really, it resonated with people. And this was a few years ago, won a Pro Award. They sold out 1 million tickets in 67 days through this program because it resonated with people. People had an emotional connection to it. And it's Disney. You get a free day at Disney. At the time, I think it was worth $75 or $80 for the ticket. It's a huge value.
And the organization's benefited hugely.
Oh, for sure. And then, everybody would do it as a family. It really helped the family unit. So family of 4 or 5 would go spend 8 hours and help out a nonprofit and, do whatever they needed to have done. And then the whole family got a free day at Disney. And then an event that we've been doing now for 5 years, and we just launched it this past weekend. I was in Ohio with one of my new teams, is for Tractor Supply Company. And they're a company that's all about promoting their out here message, life out here message. And it's all about the culture of, going outside and kind of small farmers, people from maybe who may have an acre or maybe have 100 acres, or even now it's starting to be more mainstream in a lot of their new distribution in the urban market, where it's people that just have pets. And so they have lots of pet foods and they have animal feed also, and a lot of great clothing and a lot of great things in their stores. So we're out engaging consumers at county fairs and state fairs, all about their culture and how they live with that life out here messaging. And it really resonates with families, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to hit families. We have a lot of fun games, give away a lot of prizes. Everybody comes in with a smile, everybody leaves with a bigger smile. It's really been a great program. Like I said, it's the 5th year, and we just launched that last week. So everything that I've just discussed is all about building an experience, and it's all human to human. All those programs have digital aspects to it again, so make sure we can extend the reach. But it's really important for us to cut through the clutter and be able to create an experience that people are going to remember, and it's going to cause them to act. And that's the final part of that equation for our clients is, what are the results we're driving? Well, we're driving brand awareness, we're driving brand engagement, We're driving them to the store, or we're driving them to their to whatever the location happens to be that they have. It's the park for Disney, and for the NBA, it's just building their brand. So it's something that we love and we really believe in, and think that emotional engagement is the key to the success. And because of all the clutter out there, you have to do something to stand out and create that emotional connection.
You think you've been doing this for 25 years, and what do you think the key to saving retail is? I mean, retail stores are declining. Do you think the in-store experience can really help? I mean, can
for sure.
Help? I mean,
yeah, there's no doubt. I just read an article, and in fact, I sent it to my tractor clients because I said, this article is not talking about you, but it's talking about you. When I'm reading it, I'm thinking of the experience I have every time I go into your stores. So, you think about some of the big stores that are in malls that are dying right now. You walk in, and if you can find somebody, they say, "Can I help you with something?" And that's not building an experience. That's not an engagement. That's kind of what people did to greet consumers or visitors to their stores 25 years ago.
Right.
The companies that are building an experience within their stores are the ones that are going to be able to survive this Amazon world that we live in. And the ones that aren't creating an experience, people aren't going to want anything to do with. And it's interesting.
It's not worth going if it's not a great experience.
Right, because you can do it online now, and it's simpler. You don't have immediate gratification, but maybe you get it tomorrow or the next day, and you don't have to.
Saves you a trip.
You don't have to worry about having a bad experience or an average experience. The irony is at least what's happening here in St. Louis is some of these malls that are going empty are being blown out and redone, and experiences are being put in. So there's they're blowing out the stores and blowing out the walls, and there's kickball, there's volleyball, and there's pickleball, and all this other experiential things that are replacing all these big department stores that are dying because they just didn't keep up with the times, and there's no experience there. So the ones that will continue to build an experience and people will look forward to going to, and they know they can, when someone walks in a store, a lot of times they're looking for someone to solve their problem, and how many times do you go into the big box stores and you can't find anybody? That's frustrating to me. If I'm looking for something, I don't go enough that I know exactly what aisle, there's 72 aisles. I don't know what aisle things are. So I just want somebody at the front to go, I want to be able to say, hey, where's this? And they go, oh, it's aisle 6. Great. Where on aisle 6? Because aisle 6 is huge. It's on the right-hand side on the bottom about halfway through. Great. I'll go see if I can, find it. I don't think that's a great experience. So if they don't do something about it, I think, in the next 5 or 10 years, we're going to see this onslaught of companies shutting down. I just read this morning that there's 28% more store closings this year than last year at the same time. That's a huge number.
Well, if you think about it too, in some markets you're getting stuff the same day, right? You can get Amazon delivered in some markets day of. So I totally agree with that. So what sort of a final question? Two final questions? What's the best advice you've ever gotten from a mentor or from somebody in business? Maybe not marketing, but just in business, or maybe it was marketing.
About running a business?
What's that?
About running a business?
Any of that. For you, what was the best advice you ever got?
I think the best advice I've ever got was from my parents. And it's, that people are going to judge you by who you hang around with.
Okay.
So that's how I recruit in my company, is I only want people coming into my company who I'm proud to be around and can make us better. My parents do still pop in every once in a while, which is fun because, to them, it's sort of like a field trip for them to come see what Steve's doing now at his company. But so they do come in and they meet my staff, and so it's important to me to make sure they're people that I'm proud to be around, and I think it's really important to surround yourself with great people. The other part of the advice that I got, and this was from an early job I had early in my career, was always deliver what you say you're going to do, and then give them a little bit more value than they expected. So, it's like those three things probably, maybe that's my next book. I mean, those three things are really important to our success. We hear a lot from our clients. We only work with 10 clients at a time. We changed about 10 or 12 years ago that, we just want to do really fabulous work and give great customer service. So we only work with 10 clients at a time. Now, we may work with 10 or 15 during the year, but at any one given time, it's usually 10. And I have clients come to me at the end of the year and said, your service was so good that we thought we were your only client. And it's like, that's the kind of attention my team is giving. And so, that makes me feel great. That's like the ultimate compliment. It's like, that is really cool to me, that I know that my team is there when they need it. We're problem solvers. Nobody calls us because things are going great. They're calling us because they need something. They need a change in their brand. They need to change, something in the way they're doing business. They need to drive engagement. They need to drive sales. They need to build their brand. So when I hear something like that from a client, I know we're doing our job. We're doing what we say we're going to do, and then we're doing, a little bit more. And
right.
And I couldn't do this without my team. I learned a long time ago. The company can't be just me. It's got to be me and a lot of great people, and that's what I've built. And I'm lucky. Our anniversary's coming up next week, so or at the end of this week. So, I'm a little sentimental and a little historical right now, thinking about 24 years go by really, really fast, and it's been a lot of fun. And I'm still enjoying it. So I'm keep doing it.
That's good news. Good news for you, for everybody. Where can people find the book?
The book's at Amazon or Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
And you can pick it up there. And if you want more information on the book, you can go to my website, which is steve-randazzo.com.
Okay. Well, we'll put that link on the LinkedIn page.
Thank you.
And on social media for people to find those connections real easy.
Great.
So anyway, hey, Steve, thank you for the time today. It's been great to have you, and I appreciate you sharing your vast knowledge of what's going on in the world and how, helping us understand things better. So.
Well, Rhett, I appreciate the opportunity. I had a lot of fun. You have some great questions, and I love talking about this. So this is a passion of mine, and so anytime I get the opportunity to spread the word and talk more about what our industry is doing for brands on the B2B and B2C world, I clear my schedule and make sure I have time to do that. So I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to talk about it today.
Yeah, you're welcome. This has been Power Lunch Live, special edition of Power Lunch Live. You can see the upcoming schedule for the week and for the next month at powerlunch.live. And check that schedule out. We've got some great guests coming up this week and throughout the next few months. So if you want Power Lunch Live to show up at a conference and do some live interviews, get in touch with us, reach out to us through the website. We're happy to come to your conference or to your event and do live broadcast.